Hey, what's going on? Strat Soldier here with the weekend shift. Woo! It was a good week for the Strat. Everybody's in here. The chat is rolling. This is a live show. Hey, I am a Strat trader. What's your superpower? The Strat kept you out of trouble this week. Friday afternoon was a little weird. But again, we're going to talk about that. If you watch the Strat, if you trade the Strat, even if all you know is just the scenarios, the Strat kept you out of trouble because they messed with us hard the last 30 minutes of the day. I want to talk about that. We got OG Trades out here. I'm going to bring him on in just a little bit. How many people in the chat? I got Dustin, I got Josh Taylor, I got Silent Jat. What is going on, man? Hey, check out Silent Jat on Twitter. He's got all kind of great Strat scans and Strat things with working all in trading view. So check him out. Ryan B, what's going on, man? Hey, brand new out here to the live room. Sunshine. Hello, UK. How you guys doing out there? Emilion, I hope I said that right. Heck yeah. And the Eighth Trader, awesome. How you doing? Eighth Trader's actually, he's in Michael Dang's room as well, and it's awesome to check out Michael Dang in the beginning of the day. And Eighth Trader can tell you, we go through the futures, we go through a watch list for the morning, and then we just start jamming and hanging out with Michael Dang. He's a lot more serious to me though. It's a lot more serious. So he's like, this is where we're going to be at. Here's our levels. Here's our, this was a distribution day. You're going to look for this. And then I'm in there just trying to keep everybody, I'll say some comments, whatever, get them laughing. But most of the time, he's really serious. I got Kevin Bird out here. What's going on? Bird is the word. Jesus is my superhero. Okay, I'll give you that one. All right, very good. Willie B. Heck yeah. Jason Leon. We got some new people out here. Anna, what's going on? Anna. Gabriel, Eddie. Hey, how many people in the chat? How many people? Yes, Michael Dang is good. He knows what he's doing. And he's tough. He's smart, very smart. How many people in the chat? Give it to me. How many? Jason says he's here to learn the trade commons. Heck yeah. Learn the trade commons. He's got a crying emoji there. If you're brand new to trading or just brand new to the Strat period, I suggest trading commons. And I know people don't want to hear that because it's not exciting and sexy and all that stuff. But if you give yourself a chance to just learn the scenarios, learn the reversals, get in with a few shares and learn what we're doing, learn how to take a profit and learn how to create winning positions, add to them and defend them with tight stops. I'm telling you what, once you like venture out and start getting in the options, you're going to have a lot better time because you'll be able to at least fall back on your skills in the commons, working commons and shares, as opposed to just losing all this money and then going, man, well, maybe I should just try and do shares in common. Yeah. Heck yeah. So that goes in. I don't want to take any thunder from OG. I know he's coming on. He's waiting on me. But that's what I'm saying. I'm saying that is because that leads into what we're going to talk about today is discipline. And OG was in the military for a long time, and he knows about discipline. And real quick, give me a number. How many people in the chat? Give me a number. Give me a number. And while we're waiting on that number, if you want to get in with us here at SEPI Group and type in promo code STRATSOLDIER 2022, that's going to give you a Rob Smith live room for $99 per month for the first 3 months. Okay, that's a whole quarter. It's the second quarter. The second quarter just started. Okay, and then Rob just put out his macro video. Now's the time. All right, watch that video, make your macro watch list, watch the episode, last week's episode or weekend before on how to create a watch list. And you don't have to take all 183 names that Rob put out. You only need to talk about, I like oil and I like retail's in the dirt. That's not a good one. I like oil. I like tech, and healthcare is coming up. So let's just say you go healthcare and energy. And you just watch Rob's video and you're looking for the hammers. Apple, hammer on the quarter, not enforced yet, but hammer on the quarter. Plug, alternative energy name. 37 in the house. Heck yeah. 37. I can work with that. Plug is an alternative name. People like Plug because it has nothing to do with Russia and it has nothing to do with oil and everything like that. So it's getting a lot of attention. It went 2-2 reversal up on the month. I told you about it. We've been working it and it's still working. They took some profits Friday. I'll show you that on the charts here real quick, but Plug's been a great one. Also hammer on the quarter. All right. So there's a lot of hammers out there. Give me hammer in force. 43 now. It's coming up. It's coming up. we got a reversal to the upside. All right, here we go. So let me go through the broader averages real quick, and then we're going to get to OG. Now, if you are brand new to the strat and you've never seen this before, and then to all my regulars, hang on, bear with me, okay? For my regulars, all right? I have all my charts up just like this when I trade. I got the monthly, the weekly, the daily, and the 60. And this shows me time frame continuity, okay, across the board. What does time frame continuity show me? It shows me, are they green on the month, green on the week? Because that means they've been buying it all month, buying it all week. And is it green today? That means they've been buying it today. And then on my 60s, are they buying it right now? Okay, 60s always got control, but and I'll show you that because Friday, like I said, was goofing around with us. We use time frame continuity to show who is the most aggressive participant. Is it the buyers or the sellers? Okay, or are they just trading in the middle, doing nothing? Hello. And all right, so monthly, weekly, daily, and 60. All right, so the month so far, Friday was the very first day of the month, and we open up inside month. Hopefully, we do not stay in here, okay? But you could clearly see the broadening formation here, and we do not want to get stuck in here, but it could happen, all right? It could trade down because we got a shooter on the week. All right, we got a shooter on the week that goes in force at the shooter on the week goes in force at 448.90, okay? 448.90, and the magnitude of that thing is 390. Okay, excuse me, 439.95. 430, like a game show host. 439.95. Okay, now if that goes in force and takes it down, you can see right here that's still going to bring us in the middle of the month. All right, and now we're dealing with a scenario one. I don't want that. You don't want that, but it could be for some good trading if you're looking for some downside stuff or stuff to reverse up and down through the broadening formation. Okay. Remember the scenario ones in here when this was a scenario one, and then even here when this was a scenario one in these months, it just kind of chopped around in there. Okay. It made trading really difficult for the swing traders. But you could do it. Okay. You could do it. Just keep your pushing your stops up. You can create those winning positions. And that's why we're here. Here, what is going on, Willie B? And then I'm gonna say this wrong. Lizette, how you doing? That's an awesome name. Inside, so far inside month, ending with a shooter on the week. The reason why we end up with a shooter on a week, here's your days. Here's Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, ending with a hammer. But you can see they bought it up, they sold it down. All right, here's your broadening formation on the dailies. Just for funsies, here's your broadening formation on the dailies. You can clearly see that. Okay, they bought it up, tested the highs. Now it's time to test the lows. End of the month, end of the quarter, people just taking profits. Profit takey. All right, profit takey. So there's your broadening. Well, I'll keep it up. Some people like to watch these things, take screenshots and all that stuff. I'll leave that up just for a little bit. There's your broadening formation on the daily. And then here, okay, here's your 60s. All right, here's your 60s. A little bit of a mess. All right, again, here's your broadening formations. You can see where they bought it up, and then here's your 2-2 reversal back down all through here. All right, all through there. Nice big shooter right here in force on March 31st. March 31st at 10:30 Eastern Standard Time. 2-2 reversal down. Shooter in force right below 457.05, and then just puking. All right, death. Okay, you think this is not a time to buy. All right, this right here, this 2-2 continuation down, not a time to buy. Okay, but What I will say is they started messing with us on Friday afternoon, okay? Puking, all right? All this stuff. And then right at 1:30, April 1st, 1:30, you had a 2-2 reversal back up on the 60s, all right? 2-2 reversal back up. And then right here, right at 14:30, 2:30, they immediately started taking it right back down into the red. All right, let's look at the 30s because I did post this on Twitter. Right here, 2-2 reversal back down on the 30s. You know, we went right back in the time frame continuity of the day. Okay, because the day was red. All right, and then they started messing with us again. You got an outside 30. All right, what caused that? The outside, the 2-2 reversal back up on the 15s. All right, so here's your 15 minutes. 2-2 reversal back up, working it. Outside 15er here, and then all the way back down, then 2-2 reversal back up at 451.24, 451.30 I got on this side, and then all the way back up. Okay, again, here's your broadening formation. You could draw these broadening formations on any closed time frame. Okay, as long as the bar is closed, you can draw the broadening formation, and that's still valid. If you're a day trader, you can work this all the way down. All right, here's my reversal back up. Now, you would be taking this trade against continuity because the day was red, okay? And the week was a little, I don't know, even though it's the beginning, there's weak shooter, forming a shooter down, green, but you'd be taking this against continuity of the day, all right? Then, as it started reversing back down, now you have the day and your 15ers the same color. You can work that all the way down and then cut your cover here at 451.30 and then work long if you're crazy. You know what I mean? Do it because it did go to the upside. But if let's just say I'm trading the strat, I'm only taking anything that's the same continuity as the day and it's going down. It's red on the day, down. All right, I cut my profits. This 30-minute 60. Go ahead and cut it here. I'm not holding puts anymore. You don't want to hold your puts all through this, okay? You don't want to hold through all this mess. All right. So that's what happened on Friday. And then the Dow Jones is the only one not really getting murdered in this thing. Diamonds not really getting killed here. Still shooter on the day, shooter on the week and hammer on the daily. So let's see what they want to do here. But inside month, not really getting killed. It's kind of chopping around in here. I had a broadening formation already on this. I don't know where it went, but it's not totally getting murdered. All right. So diamonds kind of a little stronger than the other ones. All right. And then QQQ, man, I don't know what QQQ did. I don't know if it made a deal with the devil or something like that to get all its gains last year or the year before, but daggone it, they are beating the mess out of QQQ. Again, shooter on the week, hammer on the daily. So let's see if they can bring it back up all through this. All right. Climbing up the wall of woe, the wall of woe. And then real quick for the kids in the back, let's go through the scenarios. Let's put the labels on for the kids in the back and get OG on here. All right. We believe there are only 3 ways anything can trade. All right. We call them the strat scenarios. Scenario 1 does not take out either side of the previous range. You see this here? Here's a better one. Scenario 1 does not take out either side of the previous range. You always want to compare that to the candle to the left. All right. All right. Scenario 1, stuck in here, price consolidating, doing nothing. If this was a week, this is an inside week. All right. Price bounce around all around in there. That's a mess. All right. Then you got your scenario 2. Scenario 2 takes out either side of the previous range, the top or the bottom. Only one side, okay? Scenario 2 up, scenario 2 down, all right? Even though this is green, this is still a scenario 2 down. Once you have a series of 2s in one direction, you got your 2-2 reversals up. Once you have a series of 2s in the going down, there's your trend going down, okay? So here's your 2s going up, 2s going down, all right? Why is that important? Do I want to hold puts through all of this? What are these 2s telling me to do? These are weekly charts, too, weekly bars. What are these telling me to do? Maybe go long, okay? Weekly bars. Everything's trending down. Even though you got these 2 green 2s, they're still down, all right? Still 2 down. What's this telling me? Maybe some puts, all right? Scenario 3 takes out both sides of the previous range. Here's a good one right here. Scenario 3. Let's mark it here and here. All right, takes out both sides of the previous range, the top and the bottom. That means they bought it up and sold it down. All right, bought it up, sold it down. The best way to see that is XOM, and this is and then I'm going to shut up because I've already talked too much. XOM on the daily. All right, XOM on the daily. I pointed this out on Twitter. This was Thursday. All right, scenario 3 right here on the daily. Takes out both sides of the previous range. All right, now let's go back to the 60s on that. Hopefully I can mark this out really quick. Yep. So what they do, they bought it up and sold it down. Wrong tool. Bought it up, sold it down, creating that broadening formation. Give me another one real quick. That's nasty. That's a nasty one right here because this bar right here. But here's your broadening formation. They bought it up, sold it down. Bought it up, sold it down right here. Triangle they out. Okay, we talked about that the last episode, right? But then that all matches right here in this scenario 3. Okay, again, a little ugly. I'm trying to do this quick because OG needs to come on. That is it for me. Hey, what's going on, Rob C? Heck yeah, Susan, Adex, very cool. What's going on, man? Hey, let's go ahead and get this off of here. Let's get OG on here. I've talked enough. You've seen this before. What's going on, OG, man?
Hey, what's going on? No, I love it. You got to hit up the beginners. You got to hit them up. You got to start somewhere. So
you got to. And yeah. It's funny because you can always I don't know, you can skip the basics and say, well, you watch another show, you could, you get it later on. But again, there's always someone that's brand new to the show, brand new to the strat, and never seen this before. And that's who I like to focus on because they want to learn.
Exactly. Dude. Exactly. Yeah, you're right on.
So what's up, man? I've been watching you on Twitter. I've been watching your videos. How did you get in the trading and what do you do? Who is OG Trades?
So yeah, just because I haven't been on social media for very long, so not very many people know. But I've been doing this for 13 years and I actually got an interesting start in trading. I actually started trading while I was deployed to Iraq. So I was in Iraq for a year and a half, and one of my battle buddies, I'll never forget his name, Corporal Jones. I gotta shout him out because he was a sham shield at the time, and then he got promoted. So if anybody knows military terms, the sham shield.
He had his war chicken. We used to call it war chicken.
Yeah, exactly. But he was a very smart guy, very, very smart. And anytime we'd be coming back off mission and we had any free time, he'd always be going to the MWR. Everybody else is trying to get a hold of their families because, their families want to know how it's going when you're deployed. But he was over there on E-Trade, and he was just sitting there using tax-free deployment money to just make more monay. And
that's awesome.
I'd look over, I'd peer over, and I'm like, what is he doing? What charts? That's a chart. And he's like, just join E-Trade. And at the time, it was when those baby E-Trade commercials were out. If everybody remembers those. So it was perfect. And so he showed me how to place trades. I never knew how to do that because like everybody else, I was just putting money into a 401k, but in the military, it's called TSP. So, so I was putting money in my TSP because brand new going to basic training. I was sitting next to a first sergeant on the plane. And she's like, you know what? As a beginning soldier, you need to put money away because we know soldiers, especially privates, they blow their paycheck on going out and then they get into these payday advance things and we won't go into that. But that's a different money management type of thing that we could talk about for hours. But definitely. So that's all I did was put into TSP. And then he just showed me how you can control your own money. And I was like, yep, I want to do that. He's making money. Yep, I want to do that. And so he kind of just showed me the ropes. But it was
back all the blocks.
Yeah, it was back in 2008, which is almost like this 2020 scenario we got again, where we've got everybody that could just put money into anything and it was just going to go up. And so I thought I was a genius, and Corporal Jones is like a brilliant guy, and so I had to learn the tough way because then once I got out of the military, I was fortunate enough to get an internship at a hedge fund. Did market research for them, did fundamental analysis so I can break down companies. I can look at balance sheets and see whether they're healthy or not. but I never got a chance to trade at the hedge fund. So once I left there after 3 years, then I didn't really know how to trade other than just to buy commons. And so I had to relearn everything. And so I struggled for a bit. I struggled for about 2 years, and then finally just started working with a mentor, which was my old boss at the hedge fund. And he said, just focus on price action. Price action precedes everything. Worry about price action, worry about market structure. And ever since then, I've just been profitable. So I've been profitable for about 8 years now. And then when I ran into the strat, just stumbled upon it because I think Addix is in the live room here, but he kind of pulled me in because I joined some Discords and they knew about my background. So they all want me to contribute. And so I contributed to a bunch of Discords, but never really found a home until Addix is like, hey, I remember you trade futures in this Discord. Can you come over? Because we're strat. And I'm like, well, what's the strat? And so I looked into it and found yours was like the first one that I saw, that basic one from Benzinga. And I watched those slides and it just clicked. It just clicked because I was trading that way, but I couldn't explain it the way that the strat explains it. And it just simplified everything. So that's how I segued into all this. And with all the misinformation going around with trading and, saying that these indicators are going to be the end all be all, you're just going to make money. It'll give you buy, sell signals. And I just look at them and I'm like, well, no, if you focus on just price action, you can get in before these indicators tell you to, and you'll catch a good move. And sometimes those indicators will tell you to buy and it automatically goes against you as soon as you buy because they're a lagging indicator. So then you get hit, you get into that buy signal and automatically it TTOs you out and you don't hold it. And, we've already been in from before. So that TTO we kind of expect. We take our profit or add to your position. Like you said, when you started, you add to your positions and depend on tight stops. And, I love that about the message. So I want to spread it to as many people as possible. So
fantastic. You said it all. We can stop the show now. I guess we can leave.
All right. I have to nurse this hangover from last night because I was at the meetup. So
how'd that go?
Yeah, the St. Louis meetup was awesome. We had a nice turnout. Everybody was super friendly. I didn't expect anything else, but everybody just learning from each other, talking to each other. Got a chance to see Rob, as FICO says, Spicy Rob. So I got to see Spicy Rob a little bit. He got on a roll there for a little bit, talking talk. And then it was just, everybody that came in from out of town was like, hey, where are you from? I met some people from Mississippi. I believe, Vance or Whitney.
Yes.
Yeah. So she came up from Mississippi.
Wow.
Phil came from Omaha. I came from Des Moines. So there were people from everywhere. We had our own little triangle. Everybody came from like 5 hours away. So we're like, oh, we had our own triangle layout. But it was fun. And I'm a little hoarse. And that's why there's a little bit more bass in my voice because
there you go.
I was just talking strat all night and it was fun.
I started seeing the pictures come in and I'm like, daggone it. The last show was a recorded show because we went on vacation. Great time, had fantastic time. And then for people that out there that do trade as well and want to do like regular life stuff, I set my stops even and things were great. I didn't have to worry about anything. But
yep.
I seen family and life is important. And I seen the pictures coming in. I was like, daggone it. But anyway, the times like didn't match up and I couldn't do it. And I'd have to take away from them to go do that. But I can't wait to go to another one, man. I seen you guys having a great time, and that's awesome. You got to see Spicy Rob because I
can't wait to go to the FinTwit convention in Vegas. We'll see how that goes.
That's gonna be awesome. I'm telling you what,
fun too.
I'm telling you what, Clear Side, Strong Side, he's out there. Clear Side. He's always in the chat with Rob too, and awesome. Yeah, we have a good time. So that's awesome. We got to talk. Thank you for giving us an update. Rob's actually running a marathon right now. I don't know if he's done. I don't know what
tomorrow. It's actually on Sunday.
Oh, yeah, marathon on Sunday. That's interesting.
Yeah. So he had a brunch today. I would have loved to go, but we're filming this live, so
we're working. Hopefully they're watching us right now.
I'm suffering for you guys right now.
I'm telling you what, if they're not watching us at brunch right now, I tell you, they better be.
They should have planned ahead and put a projector up and had us up there.
Oh my gosh. We're gonna work on it. We'll work on it.
Exactly.
So Yeah, I had you on. I really wanted to have you on just to talk about because you're in the military as well, and Rob loves to talk about. He loves to harp on the discipline, and when I, me, the whole strat soldier thing, the theme, I'm still rolling with, and so Rob will say the military discipline.
Yeah.
And you have that same thing, and I love it. And I was when I was in Iraq in 2006, I was not trying to trade. I didn't even know what any of that stuff was. So you're ahead of me, and that's amazing. And for you to have all your experience and then to roll it into the strat and be able to roll into it so easily, that's really awesome for us. I think you're the very first person besides Rob and Ryan Faluna who has traded longer than 5 years. I mean, honestly, we're babies. If you think at the time, I'm a 3-year-old running around trying to show everybody else how to do things.
Yeah.
You're 13.
Well, crawl, walk, run, right?
That's right. That's right.
Crawl, walk, run. So
exactly. And I always, because of that, I trade how I teach, and I teach how I trade, and I don't move beyond that. But I'm also growing myself. So for you to be 13 years and 8 years profitable, that's awesome. Congratulations to you. And that's awesome. You're able to share some of this stuff with the strat. So if you want to, man, go ahead and start talking about I guess what do you want to go with first? I mean, just discipline in general.
Yeah, we can just do discipline in general, just because everybody talks about having a set of rules that they want to trade by, but the rules don't matter if you're not going to follow them and you're not going to be disciplined. And so what the strat allows is to give you your entry and your stop, and there's no gray area. You have your combo sheets that are out there. And so you just follow them, and that's your blueprint. Those are your set of rules. And if you follow them, then you'll be profitable. Not guaranteeing it, because you have to apply it. But if you start to add too many things to it and you don't have the basics down, then you're just shooting yourself in the foot, because then you don't know what needs to change or what you added to it that you need to take away. Because I've seen charts with just so much what my mentor called lipstick on it, because it's just there's so much stuff that you don't know what you're really looking at, and you don't know what to take away to change your win rate. So discipline for sure, but I also wrap up discipline into essentially like how you live your life. Because if you want to be a day trader or a scalper, or you want it to be your profession, because this is all I do, I have to make sure that I'm disciplined with getting rest. I'm disciplined with, what I eat, meditation, all those things that just go into having the right mindset to enter trades. Because you can have the strat on your side, but if you don't have all that back end stuff to make sure you're prepared mentally to take those trades, you're going to trade emotionally, or you're just not ready for it, or, you're going to jump the gun and you're going to try and maybe front load a position, or you don't wait for the enforce because you believe in that position, but you shouldn't have done it. So discipline is super important throughout your entire life. And I love one of the books that I've read. I'm going to forget it. I wish I could annotate it better right now, but I believe it's Make Your Bed or something like that. But it's say, which one I'm talking about. How you just start with something small. Make your bed in the morning. That way you've got your first task done. You've accomplished something. You feel accomplished. It's like that in trading, where you get a good win in, you can build on that. You followed your rules. Even if you get stopped out, if that was your rule, that's still a win. That's still a win in my book, because you got stopped out, but you followed your rule. That's a win. You stayed disciplined. That's a win. That just resonates with me, and I try and teach that to the traders, because a lot of the discipline and a lot of the performance psychology stuff that I do is almost more important than entering a trade. Because if you don't have that stuff, you can teach a monkey how to enter and exit trades and how to click a button on a panel, or even a stream deck. I'm sure you can use a stream deck with hotkeys, and you can train somebody to do it. But it's all that other stuff that goes on in your mind to prepare for it. I always go back to the hedge fund experience. There's different departments that do different things to make that hedge fund profitable. So you have the nerd, me, doing all the fundamental stuff, and you give it to the portfolio manager, and then they in turn go to the risk management team to say, hey, we want to put on this position. What's my risk? Well, then they go turn around, tell them you can put 2 mil in this position and you can lose no more than whatever. And then they turn around, give it to the traders, and the traders have to trade it. Give me the best price, trade it. So you have all these departments that do it. And then of course, a compliance team to make sure that all the back end stuff hashed out. But when you're an independent trader and you do it for a living, you're all those things. So it's very important that you have your checks and balances and the discipline, and to understand that you got to follow your rules. I know that was pretty winded, but I mean, I get
that's perfect.
Real amped up when I talk about this stuff, because it's just as important as understanding what the strat combos are and what the scenarios are. And even much more so important, I think, in my book, to make sure that you're disciplined and your psychology is on point.
Yeah, you said a lot of good points and a lot of things that I've said before, but sometimes when someone else says it, it clicks. So someone's going to watch this thing and go, you know what I do every day? I make my bed. I'm like, I've been telling you guys that for months, but OG said it. Now you guys are going to
45-degree angle tucked in. No, not all that, but
that's right. Hospital corners. Hospital corners.
Yeah.
I will flip your bed if it doesn't have
I shine my Crocs in the morning.
Shine my Crocs. That's awesome. Yeah. That's awesome. I love what you said about following your rules, and it's true. Follow your rules, because I say this, and I've said this before. If you take a trade and you hold it longer than normal, or you don't necessarily work options, but you bought some anyway, or you don't necessarily go with this much size, but you did it anyway, and I only go with 1 or 2, but for this one I bought 10 contracts and it made me a lot of money. Cool. I still say you lost. And the reason why I say you lost is because you didn't follow your rules. You broke them. Now, when it comes to their next trade, you're going to be confused, and you're going to be like, well, okay, do I break my rules now, or do I follow them? Or do I, so you made, let's just say you made 200% on this thing because you bought all these calls, and you know what I mean? It went great. But then the scenarios changed. Here's the brand new 60, or the new day, or the new week, or the new month. And because we're looking at all time frames, and the market changes, time frames change, and now you're exhausting risk at the highs. You buy calls and this thing reverses to the downside, triangle layout to the downside, and your calls don't work no more. You didn't buy puts, but you were this is going to work. It's done before. And you don't follow your rules. You break them. And now you lost all that money you made with that trade.
And then some.
And then some
sometimes. But
and then some. So then you're sitting at you're looking at your screen going, oh, I should have followed my rules. I shouldn't have did this. I shouldn't have did that. And now now it's a 6-hour pout, instead of actually like one of Michael Douglas, Trading in the Zone. That's one book I really like. I think I'm going to go ahead and recommend it now.
Should be on everybody's read list.
Yeah, Trading in the Zone, because even though it has nothing to do with the strat, it still applies. Because instead of, and again, I don't let people pout in the chat, because in the live room, because instead of going, okay, this didn't work, cut my losses, move on, and then staying in the zone and going, okay, I got a 2-2 reversal back up. This trade might work. This thing could work. I'm putting my stops back where back where I had them before. I'm good. Or move on, because they're not buying tech. Energy's not working. They're buying healthcare, XLV. Right. And now I'm starting to buy XLV stuff. But if you sit all day long, the rest of the day, the rest of the trading day, pouting, you know what I mean? Oh, I should have did this. Instead, freaking
shoulda, woulda.
Yeah, shoulda, coulda, woulda.
Shoulda, coulda, woulda, and you beat yourself up.
You beat yourself up all the rest of the day and pout, and then you miss all this other stuff that you could have did. Spies dumping. I don't like working options. Okay, look at SPXS. You know what I mean? Like
the inverse. Yeah, exactly.
Yes, like freaking. Yeah. We always, the strat has the winning spirit built into it. It's baked into it. Freaking create winning positions. Say that stuff when you guys are trading. I create
exactly. That should be your mantra in the morning as you're making your bed. Exactly. I create winning positions. I create winning. No, it's spot on. And I think that's why we click so well too, is the fact that, you have to be like that. I attribute a lot to, okay, so I have a background in performance psychology as well. So I like to use the example of, an NFL quarterback. You can start at the very beginning. They had to learn the fundamentals. They had to learn the basics first. There's no way they're at the NFL level, at the Pee Wee League, and chucking bombs. So you have to start there and work your way up. And there's discipline that is involved with that. To get to that level, there's discipline involved with that. And not only that, but when people show me trade journals and they're like, yeah, I journal, and it's just a P&L, And I'm like, that's not a trade journal. You need to be journaling like what you're eating, how you're sleeping, all sorts of things, because that can impact your decision making. Same thing with a professional level athlete. They track all that stuff because then they go to their coach, whether it's their physical coach, whether it's their quarterback coach, or whatever the case is. And then they'll say, well, I feel like crap today. Well, what did you eat last night? Did you sleep? Those things like that. Let's put you in a sensory deprivation tank and let's see how you feel. But we won't take it that far. But at the same time, the analogy still pertains to the trading, because if a quarterback throws a pick, they have to remember what the look was and why they got picked off. They have to go back to the sideline and review how that play went out, how it played out. And so you have to do that with your trades. You still have to analyze it, but you're not beating yourself up because you have to go back out there and throw that ball again. At some point, you got to re-enter a trade again. But as long as you understand where you went wrong and you don't beat yourself up about it, you can go back out there as long as you're mentally strong and as long as you're able to shake that one off and then go back out there, almost like a Major League Baseball pitcher as well. You throw a pitch and you get a dinger, you still have to throw another pitch right after that. So, your memory has to be short in those situations, but you don't forget. So you look at all that stuff. And so the other thing that you had mentioned about, keeping it simple, especially when you're starting, keep it simple. Don't add all this extra stuff until you've been disciplined and consistent enough, because I use the strat, but I also use the VWAP and I also use pivot points, but I didn't add all that stuff until I understood price action and I became consistent with it. So you can add stuff to it. We're not saying you can't, but you have to get the basics first. Just like in the Pee Wee leagues, you have to learn the basics first, and then they teach you other things, and then you can branch out. But it's not until you can keep a good trade journal, and it's not until you can be disciplined and consistent that you can start adding stuff. So
I agree. I agree. And go back to the football analogy. I'm going to use football, but let's go back to the sports analogy, or even the military. Let's go with the Army. You got this soldier.
The best branch.
Yeah, the best. You got this soldier who's been doing it. I've been in this unit for 5 years now. I'm a specialist, E5 or whatever. Let's just say specialist. I got my war chicken. I know what I'm doing. We've done this drill hundreds of times. And then but what do? They get complacent. They get complacent. I don't need to sleep as much as I need to sleep. I don't need to run as much as I need as you guys. I know what I'm doing. And you can get through a couple, PT tests without running because you're pretty fit. You know what I mean? You can get through a couple hard rec marches because you know what I mean. You've done it before. You're conditioned. But if you continue to slack, you know what I mean. You wake up in the morning and then you're not rested enough. You look at your charts. I know what I'm doing. Oh, okay. Scenario 2 up. Bam, I'm in. And then it goes scenario 3 in your face all the way back down to the downside. You don't have no stop set because I programmed in a wiggle room.
yeah. How's that wiggle room working?
Oh, yeah.
You wiggled yourself into a loss. That's what you wiggled yourself into. But of course, but even using the military too, when you train, you're training because you could potentially go into war. It's life or death.
Yeah.
This isn't life or death, but you still need to treat your practice trades and your paper trading accounts and everything like it's the real scenario. Like it's real. I always suggest use paper trading, but more often than not, anybody that uses paper trading is like, oh, I can reload this as many times as I want. But it's like, no, just start with whatever capital that you would normally start with or what you're thinking of starting with. Only use that amount in your paper trading and see how it goes, but treat it like it's real money. Because then when you go to the real thing, you've practiced enough in a real scenario that, then you're good to go. And, I just mentioned to you before we even started the show, Bitcoin's trading right now. Even if you don't trade crypto, I don't trade crypto, but I still look at those charts. Like I've got I got 6 kids at home that I'm doing their laundry while I'm waiting for the dryer to finish drying. I go to a Bitcoin chart and I just look at price action It's like watching tape for any sport that you're in. You're just watching tape and then you're trying to see what the other guy is doing because it's an aggregate market. There has to be a buyer and a seller and somebody's got to lose on that end. So you don't want to be the loser. You want to make sure that you're practicing and you're looking at charts and you're reading price action, market structure and all that stuff so that you're playing against somebody else. So you want to know and get into their mind of, okay, are we getting close to magnitude here? If we're getting close to magnitude, I'm not going to try and go into another 2 up because we're at the top of a broadening formation. I'll take that reversal if it presents itself. But that comes with time, and that comes with discipline, because I focus on the inside bar setups, and everybody's like, oh, you're a one-trick pony. You've made it when you start getting some hate on your YouTube and your Twitter. And in YouTube, I have 10 tickers that I go to, and they're all inside setups. And then I get comments like, do you do anything else? Or, well, why? If it works, it works. I just like the risk reward in a one scenario. So I'm going to take the 1-2 or the 2-1-2 continuation, or 3-1-2, or a 2-1-2 reversal, or a 3-1-2 reversal. Anything. It gives me the opportunity to see where that reversal could be with good risk reward, and I defend them with tight stops.
Yeah. 100%. That's perfect. I love it. Question in the chat real quick, but before I read that question. So again, discipline in the Army and the football thing too. You get that player that has been on the team forever, and they don't want to go practice. You know what I mean? Like what's that? Well, Iverson. We talk about practice. We talk about practice. So every Sunday I do a practice on the futures. I've been doing it in the Sepia Social. Practice on the futures. We are not trading it. I've been doing it for 2 years. We do not trade the futures, but daggone it, we're watching it, and we watch the scenarios. We mark it. Oh, you trade the futures. You trade the futures. I'm saying during our practice, I say we are only watching, because I don't want people to think we're doing this and that. So anything
transparency.
Yes, transparency. I don't want people to think we're doing anything false, but we watch the scenarios play out, and sometimes it's easier to watch and understand the strat when you don't have money in it. Sometimes it's so much easier to say, okay, it is at the top of the broadening formation, and then it did reverse down after it hit magnitude. When you don't have money in it, when you have money in it, you're just like, oh gosh, why is it going down?
Yeah, exactly.
But when you don't have money in it, you just watch the scenarios. It's easier. Josh Taylor, thank you for putting your question mark before the question. Thank you. OG, how do you deal with euphoria after a big win streak? I found it to be harmful as losing recently because I got a little cocky and reckless. Yeah, and then again, I keep trying to make this point. I don't think I'm making it. You get the player, you get the soldier, you get the trader who get complacent, and then they start getting cute with the strat. They start getting cute. Yeah. They put their stops a little lower. They buy more than they should. They do, they ignore the scenario 3. Again, sometimes you get away with it and it works. But how do you, sticking with that discipline, sticking with the basics and practicing that was my main point on all that. But Josh says, how do you deal with the euphoria after a big win streak, and then the market changes and you have to deal with that? How do you do that?
So if you reach that level of euphoria, trading will make you learn yourself a lot. So when you're starting to reach that level of euphoria, maybe back down a little bit, or just work on some consistency. If you're consistently profitable and that's the euphoria that's creating, then just understand that the market can humble you. So you want to be as humble as possible. I could have, 20 successful win rates. So I hadn't had a loss for 20 days, but at some point you're going to have to deal with a loss. And then it's how you shake that off. That's why I do I go back to, the sports scenarios where it's like, okay, you can have, and I love this example because I'm a Giants fan. Don't hate me. I'm a Giants fan. But while I was deployed, they won the Super Bowl, and they beat the New England Patriots that had like a 19-game win streak going into the Super Bowl. You think they weren't euphoric? Yeah, they thought they were going to smash the beat out of the Giants. And there you go with Eli Manning pulling some stuff. And of course it was all teamwork, but you don't think that hurt a little bit? You have Eli that beat the New England Patriots, and Tom Brady with 2 Super Bowls, and both those Super Bowls I wasn't able to watch. I was deployed on one and in South Korea on the other. But I guess I have to be out of the country in order for the Giants to win. But
that's it. You're the problem. Anyway, go ahead.
I'm the problem. So that you have to, the Patriots and Brady have great careers even after those Super Bowl losses. So I'm sure they were all euphoric, and then it was kind of a kick in the gut and a really good gut check where you can't be egotistical. You can't have an ego. You need to take it one play at a time, one down at a time, one pitch at a time, one throw at a time, whatever analogy you want to use. You just have to take it one at a time. Because each scenario, they're called scenarios for a reason, because they're just scenarios. There's not to say that that's why it was called that, but that's what I like to say. Is it's a scenario. It's just one scenario. So if it plays out, then it plays out. If it doesn't play out, then that scenario you just don't take.
Yep. And I like to I got some more questions, but you're talking about only working inside bars. That's awesome. Me, I like hammers and shooters. Those are the actual signals I want to see. Hammer and force. And when I see a shooter, at the top of the broadening information, here's this shooter on the week, like I showed you in the SPY and the Qs and the diamonds. I push my stops up. All right, push my stops way up. If that thing goes in force, bam, I get stopped out with profit. Done. If it continues on, cool. But daggone it, I know what I'm looking for. The hammers and shooters, those are my actionable signals. I know when to get in. I know when to get out. That's
real
great.
Quick before we get to that next question, because you did bring up a good point. So when you get stopped out, walk away, turn off the computer, do something else. Because if you sit there and you watch the screen and you're like, oh man, if I would have just held, well, maybe it would have worked this time, but next time when you're looking at the screen and you're holding for too long, that just don't worry about what coulda, shoulda, woulda happened. You got stopped out. You got stopped out in profit. Be happy that you got profit. Just walk away for a minute. Go take a breather. Go walk the dog. Go mow the grass or shovel, whatever. Do something something else. And walk. Yeah, and then walk away.
And well, for me, I exactly. I agree with that. I think after a bad stop out, I would say definitely stop doing what you're doing. But me personally, I show everybody, your first initial entry is going to be small. So when you do get stopped out, it's a small loss. Okay. And then that allows me, I'll go, okay. Like you said, there's scenarios. They are scenarios. Okay. This trade, this scenario that happened in this moment in time on the 60 is completely different than this one. And for anybody to say, well, it happened in history, it's going to happen again. It's always no, there's going to be that, and that's not always true, because you got different participants in that moment in time you are trading. There are brand new participants that have never been in there before. Okay. You got big players in there, you got small players in there. Now everybody's complaining about retail trailers, like we're the one messing everything up, whatever. Anyway, like for example, everybody, the hedge funds that were short in GameStop, you think they had an ego and said, we know exactly where this thing's going? And what do? We went in there and we kicked them right in the face and said, hey, no, we're going to jam this thing right in your face. And then they started changing the rules. But anyway, that's
the brokerages
tangent on that.
Brokerages all of a sudden they're losing connection and they don't,
I don't want to get on a tangent on that, but okay. You're exactly right. Really back. Let me get to this question. Delta says, price action. OG, is that the only thing you use? Is that the only thing you use as for a price action? Do you only use the strat? I think you answered that before, but
so yes, price action is what I focus on. Now, I also said that I use the VWAP and pivot points. The reason why I use those is because I can kind of filter out some trades. So I use VWAP in a way that if price is above the VWAP, I'll look for long scenarios. So I'll look for the inside setup right at VWAP is perfect. It's beautiful. So the inside setup at VWAP, if it goes 2 up and it's above the VWAP, I'll take that long all day long. But if I get an inside right at VWAP and it goes 2 down, I'm going to take that all day long. So I use it to almost filter my trades, because I do understand the broadening formation. I understand the aggregation of price, and we have to take out highs. We have to take out lows. But for me, the reversals on those highs and lows, I don't like to take all the time, or very often, I should say, because I understand that in the industry, the VWAP is used quite a bit for industry traders. And so price will typically come back up towards VWAP. It kind of acts like a magnet a little bit, because institutions want to get a fair value on their entry. They don't want to buy the highs. They don't want to buy the lows. So when you find that happy medium based off volume, then that's where you'll see the TTOs, or, you'll see it come back up to VWAP. and then you get a reversal back down. And then that's when I will take a reversal because it's below the VWAP, vice versa on the other side. So that's why I use that. And then on top of that, I use pivot points. I'm not sure, you might have had somebody else talk about pivot points on this. I think I saw that. Yeah. And so pivot points, because, algos have to be told what to buy, when to buy, and at what price. The pivots take away emotional trading for institutions. It is a mathematical calculation where they can calculate and tell an algo sell at this point. And they use these pivot points to tell those algos where to buy and where to sell. So if you were to add those to your trading view and you superimpose them on there, typically you'll see that there's going to be a bit of a resistance right at those lines. And even if it busts through, there's still a little bit of consolidation. Maybe you pull back into VWAP and then it busts through. But that's because the algos are then told, okay, buy, okay, sell. Because it's mathematically calculated. There is no emotion to it. So I like to pay attention to those levels on the daily, weekly, monthly, because that's where the I don't know, but I know that
right.
that's where they tell the algos where to buy and sell.
It's perfect. We talked about jam trades, and Gunny B likes to use the pivots as well. And I was telling everybody, I was like, I trade broadening formations, and he said, get my pivot's name out your mouth. So I was like, oh no.
Yeah, I saw that. That was funny.
It was hilarious.
It was very
funny. So we had that great episode. Off the top of my head, I'll retweet it. But anyway, we had that great episode with Jam Trades talking about the pivots, and you're right. It's not an indicator. It is a mathematical equation. And what it does for me is gives me markers inside the broadening formation. And going back to sports, my analogy is it gives me the scrimmage line, the center P, and then bam, we're going to R1. Now we got the first down. Now I know where to
speak in my language.
Yep. That's now exactly I know where to push my stops up. All right. And they didn't reverse it. We got the ball. We still got the ball. We drive up to R2. Now I got second down, push my stops up. And then when, like you said, they fair market value, all that stuff, triangle out, here it comes. I get reversed. Here comes a reversal. I already pushed my stops up to R2. Okay. Now I get stopped out with profit. Now I'm watching for if I get the ball back and it reverses back up. Now I'm working for R3 and I know where to put my stops.
Those TTOs are the other team punting back to you. That's what it. Yeah.
Woo! That's it. That was good. That was good. Let me get in here. Willie B. Can you go into more detail about how you maintain your trading journal and what you like to keep track of outside of the basics? He's tracking breakfast, so he eats toast and then half a cup of coffee because too much coffee makes him trade too much. But what else you
clicking that mouse? Yeah.
What else you picking up? What else you putting in there, I guess?
So I always start my trade journal off in the day by, did I meditate or not? If I got my meditation in, check, done. Cleared my mind. It's a fresh day. Every day is a fresh day. So that's first thing that I write in my journal. Second thing is, did I eat breakfast or not? Actually it's, did I sleep well or not? Then what did I eat? Did I eat? Did I oversleep? Did I not eat? Some days, because I'm trying to get a bunch of kids off to school, if I happen to oversleep a little bit, or one of the kids is cranky, like you said, you've got a happy kid, you got a sad kid, you got a mad kid, I've got all those personalities. And so dealing with all that could put me in a mindset where I need to reset. So once I get them off to school, I might have to meditate again before market open. Then when I enter a trade, I will write down, where did I enter? Where did I put my stop? So that I can keep track of my risk to reward. And then I will write down, how did I feel before, during, and after the trade? Did I feel anxious? Did I feel sad? Did I get some bad news? Did I get some happy news? Because you never know. Maybe if you're happy and jovial, or you had too much coffee, then you're trying to get into a trade too early and you didn't wait for it to go in force. Then you have a log of that. And when you realize that, then just don't do it. For a long time, because I trade futures, and I've traded futures for the last 8 years, I love trading crude oil. Because it moves very fast. For every penny it moves, it's $10. So it'll move fast. And so For the longest time, I would be profitable on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. I would lose like most of that back on a Thursday and then make some of it back on a Friday. And so, with my mentor, I'd go through my trade journal and it was all this stuff that I'm talking about. And he would look at it and he'd say, okay, well, think about it. Why are you losing on Thursdays? And so I had to think about it. And so he's like, get back to me when you figure it out. So came back and I said, well, I'm not sure. And he said, well, how about then you just don't trade on a Thursday? And I'm like, light bulb, click. Maybe I shouldn't trade on a Thursday. So then for a month or two, I just didn't trade on a Thursday. And imagine that my P&L for the month went up because I wasn't giving stuff back to the market. And then he took it a step further. He took it a step further and he's like, okay, now think about it even further. Why were you losing on Thursdays? And so I thought about it. And he's like, get back to me. And so I got back and I'm like, it's because crude oil inventories come out. So, if you're over inventory or under inventory, it's going to mess with the price of oil, is supply and demand. It's just simple economics. So if I'm in a trade while there's information coming out that could go against me, but I'm still stuck in a trade, then I just stopped trading CL on Thursdays, and that helped out. So by keeping all this information in a trade journal, you can go back and pick what didn't work, get it out, keep what worked, and then you'll just see so much more growth. Trade journals will help your growth so much faster than just making mistakes and not writing them down, because writing them down or even typing them out is going to stay in your memory more than just thinking about it.
I like it. That's awesome. Yeah, that's a lot more than, like you said, just P&L. I made this, I lost that. I made this, I lost that, because it doesn't tell you anything. I like that. Very good. Regional, somebody, Marcos already helped region. I'm gonna call you Bush, just because I know I'm saying your first name wrong. But Bush says, how do you calculate your position sizes? Is it the same as TA lore, 1 to 2% of your account size per trade? That's not what I do, but what do you do?
No, I actually, so I trade futures, and because I can calculate the tick value, point value, I know exactly what the dollar amount is going to be. I don't have to worry about the percentage. I just take one contract. I'm not trying to be rich in 1 year. I just know this is my career. This is my life. I like my work-life balance because it allows me to trade for a few hours and then go do whatever else I need to do. So I'm not worried about how much I'm putting into a position, because I already know it's only going to be one contract, and I'll make what I make off of it, and I'll be good. Just keep my stops tight, and if it goes against me, then just one more contract after that. I don't go to 2 contracts to make that back. That's just a losing proposition. Now, I think to answer a little bit more of that question is, for those that play options and those that play commons and things like that, typically if I'm looking at a portfolio, I don't want to take more than 10% of my portfolio into one position. That doesn't mean that I'm going to put in all 10% in that play as soon as it goes in force. I'll probably put in half the position so that I can then add to my position and defend with tight stops. So you get a good average if you do it that way. You get and you just compound the amount that you're going to return. So for that reason, I like having that 10%. I no more than 10% for me personally. But if you keep a trade journal and you realize that, hey, if I do 20% of my portfolio, then I get too anxious because I got too much skin in the game, then reel back a little bit. It's okay. But if you don't know that about yourself, then you should be journaling. You should be. That's why I get so passionate about it, because if you don't keep track of that stuff, then you just don't know, and then you can't change it. So it's not a cookie cutter answer, which everybody wishes it would be a cookie cutter answer. Just tell me what I should do. But it's so different for everybody else. Your risk tolerance is going to be different than mine. Your account size is different than mine. So it's, I can't just say, oh, 25% of your account, that's where you should be in. And as soon as it goes in force, boom, nail it. But you know what? When it goes in force and you hear Rob say, just put in half your position, because if it reverses back on you and you stop yourself out, that's fine. Wait for that TTO. If it goes back, then put in half a position. You didn't lose as much.
Correct. I didn't say anything. Me and you have the same brain. Either you've been watching me and you learned really well, which is hope what's happened, or like I said, we have the same brain. We're on the same wavelength, man. I'm telling you, same. Fantastic stuff. And that's fantastic, because that's exactly what I was going to say. I calculate mine a little different. I don't look at how much am I going to put in this. I look at risk. All right. Am I willing to lose? That's 10, 15, $20 if I lose that. I'm a smaller position. Oh, okay. All right. And then I add as it keeps going. So I calculate it a little different. I look at risk. Am I willing to lose this? Am I willing to lose $20 on this? I know that sounds that's a weird number, $20, but that $20, I have 4 bad trades that triangle me out. Now I lost $80 that ate up everything I made for the week. You know what I mean? So yep. I look at it a little different. I look at what am I willing to lose, because it's easy. Was it Steve Burns says it's easy to make profit? It is easy to make profit, but it's harder to keep it. So I look at mine just a little different. I look at risk. Sunshine says, what time frame are you using your VWAP on reversals? Sunshine, we ain't talking about indicators, but anyway, go ahead. Go ahead.
I do get that question a lot. And that goes back to personal preference again. I personally like the 15-minute candle. I like the 15 because I know that 2 of those candles make up the 30, 4 of those make the hour. So I can see how those other higher timeframes are developing. Plus, because I know there's 3 5-minute candles to every 15, on TradingView, you can have a countdown on your timer. So anytime 5 minutes goes down, I know that 5-minute flipped. And so I get context on that 15-minute, which is like for me, it's like the Goldilocks, like not too hard, not too soft. It's just right. So, but it takes practice. And once again, journal, because if that 15 doesn't work for you, then bump up to the 30, because I know the 30 and the 60 are again, is like those 2 timeframes are great when you're first learning the strat. Because it gives you enough time, it gives you enough price action and enough context to tell you a story as far as what is that price action trying to tell me. If you're good, like James, he's the pilot that trades with you guys, right?
Or Jim Bradley.
Yeah, Jim he's Bradley. On the 1 minute, and he's a 1-minute master, and and that's his jam. So that's not mine. I can't take I'm like anxious if I'm looking at just bars going up and down. So for me, the 5-minute, it can be good, but because I can look at the 15 and just know when the 5-minute flips, I know we're getting over. So I just got to stop talking.
No, it's okay. It's okay.
But so when it flips and the 5-minute flips, and I can see the context on that 15-minute, and then I can see how if the 30-minute or the 1 hour is going to flip continuity, if the scenario happens to play out, going back to the football scenarios, or, you're playing against somebody else, you're playing against another team. You're trying to think, okay, I've seen this look before. It is a 3-4 look over here that they're giving me. So I know I'm going to do a play action pass. And so you have your playbook as long as you keep these trade journals, and you can see, okay, I got that look before. What am I going to do in this scenario to beat the other team, to, make profit?
Yeah, that's awesome, man. Thank you. Someone said Ryan B, they're loving it. I'm telling you, they're loving it because we aren't showing a lot of charts. I showed you all the charts in the beginning. We're not showing you a lot of charts because honestly, not a lot of people are talking about discipline in the strat. A lot of people are not talking about risk to reward in the strat. And daggone it, OG Trades, I'm gonna go ahead and call it now. I'm gonna go ahead and say that we're gonna have you on again. Let's come up with a schedule. It could be a recorded. Sure. I always have at least one recorded show during the month, so maybe it could be recording. That way we can kind of plan out, because daggone it, sure. Trading psychology is huge. There's people out here that will learn the strat. They think they know what's going on, so they put a crap they buy 500 shares of this one thing, and then it triangles them out, and then they're mad. And then it's like,
the strat doesn't work.
Yeah. Oh yeah, the strat don't work.
The strat don't work. I can't back test this. Okay. Go ahead. Back test it. I don't care.
Go ahead. Back test it all you want. And then they realize we look at the opening, not the close. Yeah. We are trading live bars. So then we're putting our stops on live bars too. That strat combo sheet, I'm going to get a hold of it and I'm going to fix it, because it's showing everybody to put their stops at the bottom of these bars. We don't do that. We put this.
Yeah, you learned me a thing or two that one day where you're like, this is where I'd put my stop. But that's why I love those inside bars, because typically that risk reward is nice, and I do put it at the bottom of that one.
Yep, I'm gonna go ahead and do it. Here you go, live. Here we go, live trading right here. Stop. Hold on, I'm doing it right now. Enter. I'm doing it right now. All right, everybody. Here's your 2-2 reversal. Here's your inside bar. All right, this is going to be flipped because whatever. Here's your 2-2 reversal. This is where I enter. This is where I put my stop, not down here. All right, not down here. All right,
you're that two bar is a big bar. That's a lot.
That's a huge bar. That's what we want. We want a big bar. Yeah. We like that's actually a scenario. Oh, I did it wrong. That's the scenario 3. That's a 3-2 up. Let me do it. Let me do it again. That's a 3-2 up.
You have charts, right?
Oh, no. The strat is easy, and daggone it, I'm going to show people the easy way. Here's your 2-2 reversal. All right, 2 down, 2 back up. Here's my entry. Here's my stop. Not down here. Here's my stop. I'm going to fix that combo sheet. Why? Because if there's something wrong and there's a big player in there and there is something goes wrong, I'm not going to sit here and wait for I'm not going to sit here and wait and see what's happening. You know what I mean? I'm going to see if this comes back. No, I'm out. And if it sets back up, I'm getting right back in, and I'm putting my stop back there, back where it was, 1 cent below the bar that takes out the previous range. Anyway, dude, this was fun. Again, we're going to have you back on one more time. We're going to have you back on again. Hopefully this month. We'll look at schedules, things like that, because trading psychology, and then we'll go through some charts. Desmond out here wanted me to go through an actual live trade on one that worked and one that didn't work, and your mindset and all that stuff. Maybe that's what we'll do for the next show, because and again, hopefully I'm not volunteering you for something, but the people in the chat are freaking out. They're loving it. And
you just voluntold me. It's all right.
I told you. That's it. That's it. No, we'll come up with something, man. But I would like a part 2, just because the people in here are loving it, and
good.
We don't have too many people in here talking about straight up discipline and military discipline and how to not get killed. And I don't know. It's not, like I said, it's not as sexy as all this other stuff that, you know what I mean? We could go on and on about VWAP and when to hit it, and when to go these things, when to get puts and how many contracts and percentages and the futures. But if you can't get yourself to go to bed at a decent time, get up in the morning, make your bed, drink some water, look at the charts, and then
get your mind right.
Make your mind right and calculate the risk before you take the trade, then you're already wrong. You know what I mean? You're already wrong. So
you're already working behind the ball. Then you become emotional about it, and then
and that's the wrong dang answer. It's a family show, so I'm gonna start. It's the wrong dang answer. Yeah. Man, we're a little bit over time, but where can we find you, man? Where can we find all your stuff? Of course, I always retweet your stuff. Whoa. Yeah. Hey, right there. Stop it. Don't you point out that your stuff's better than mine. Don't you do that.
No, not better. Not better, just different. It's okay. It's
good, man.
Everybody's got a different flavor. But yeah,
right.
Twitter, YouTube. You can always find me at OG Trades. I contribute to the Addicts Discord. Not Alex Options. However, he's a smart kid. I'm telling you, he's really smart. But Addicts Trades Discord, that's where I trade live. In the voice channel, and so we talk strat all day long.
Fantastic. Straight strat, nothing but the strat. Heck yeah, we got up to 71. So that was a good reversal there. 2-2 reversal back up to the upside 71. Right. Hey, we live the strat. It's not just not just for the charts.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm going to keep talking to the people, man. I'm going to let you go. Thank you so much for being out here. This is going to be an all-day thing. I'm sure your Twitter is going to explode. This was fun.
It's already started. Hey, I'll get to your questions, but I'm in St. Louis right now. I'm going to do some sightseeing. Last time I was here, the only thing I saw was the arch, the St. Louis Arch for an MWR trip from basic training, because I was at Fort Lost. I was at Fort Lost in the Woods over here. So they bust us over here. The only thing we did was ride that thing all the way up, all the way down. They bust us back and we were out. So
that's right. And for some reason they told you there ain't no drinking, and you're only going to watch this thing for about 2 hours. That's all you did was ride that thing up and down for 2 hours. That was it. I guarantee it.
That was.
And so next time you look at that arch, look at draw your broadening formation on that chart. You'll see it. Trade to the up and go to the down. I'm telling you, we live the strat. It's not just the charts.
Yep. Take out the top, take out the bottom.
That's it. Thank you so much for being on.
Yeah, thank you for having me. I appreciate it. Thank you guys so much.
Awesome.
All right, take it easy.
Heck yeah. Hey, if you want to join with us with the strat and get in here live with Rob Smith, with Michael Dang, with me, you can type in Strat Soldier 2022, and that's going to get you the first 3 months with Rob Smith live. Okay. And that's a whole quarter. $99 a month for the first 3 months. Okay. Strat Soldier 2022. We also have hey, learn more 22. I hope you got a hold of that, because if you didn't, you missed out. But if you did not get a hold of that one, you can type in basic strat. That's going to get you Rob's live room and my execution course. All right, that's huge, for only $199. Okay, that's going to give you the live room and the execution course. All right, that's huge. That gives you a deal on the room. And then once you're in the room, you have a course that you can go through that you can use. Now, I made the how to use the Smith in the Black course. That's for free for everybody that joins. Again, if you only just get the live room, you got the how to use Smith in the Black. That's going to go through the lingo. That's got the glossary and stuff like that in there. It's going to go through the lingo. It's going to go through how to use all of Rob's content. That's a free course. But this one, basic strat, live room, execution course, $199. That's a freaking good deal. And then spring strat, hey, the birds are tweeting. It's the weather's changing. It's a great time out here. Spring strat, that's $199. That's going to give you Rob's live room and then Rob's strat course, okay, from the man himself out there running the marathon. $190, excuse me, that's $999 spring strat. That's a really good deal. That's going to give you the live room and his full strat course. Okay, so that's two pretty good deals. All right, depending on what you like to do and where you're at in your willingness to learn this stuff. Again, what you're paying for is organized learning. What you're paying for is the ability to get a hold of us and work with us live. Okay, because I'm in the chat, Rob's in there talking to you all day long, and hey, where's your actionable signals? Okay, where's my level of defense? When we're answering those questions for you, and then everybody's in the chat, with us as well, talking and helping each other out, and we have a good time. So, basic strat $199, live course, execution course, a live room, and then execution course, and then spring strat $999, live room, and then Rob's strat course. So that's two really good deals. Okay. Man, thank you so much for everybody being in the chat. This was fun. I can't wait to have him on again. OG knows what he's talking about, and daggone it, I'm gonna have to fix this thing. Like, I thought it was nice and beautiful. No, I need to fix it. No, I'm just kidding.
It's still beautiful.
You're still here. Good.
Yeah, it's
still beautiful.
It's a little better than the brick.
I love the brick. The brick was awesome.
No, the brick is classic. The brick is classic.
Man, it's awesome.
But if you get the green screen, you can still get brick in the back. So
that's true. That's true. Rob C out here, he asked me to go ahead and change the background like every quarter. So like maybe next quarter I'll change to something else. But it was just awesome out here. Since you're still out here, thank you so much for being out here, OG. It was great.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Yeah, you're a professional. You know what you're doing. 13 years in the business and 8 years profitable, and that's amazing. So this is the Strat Soldier with the weekend shift. I hope everybody had a great time. I'll see you in the forums. I'll see you out there in Separate Your Social. I'll see you on Twitter. Last question, Delta. When you come up with your next strat video? Okay, I'll ask. When's your next strat video? I'll go ahead and ask you. Last question, OG.
The last question. Okay, so I did the first one yesterday, this afternoon, and it's scheduled, I believe, here in 2 hours. It'll be coming out. So just doing a basic series, and then breaking it down video to video. So, if you take a look at it, but as I always say in my videos, just look at Rob's stuff as well. Look at CyberDog stuff. There's plenty of information out there. I'm not reinventing the wheel. I'm just trying to present it in another way. That hopefully, like you got the kids in the back, maybe I got the kids in the middle, and Rob's got that class A in front. So, yeah. So that's coming out this afternoon.
Heck yeah. Awesome. Fantastic. Yeah. And so that's going to do it for me and OG Trades and Sapir Group. Get in there check out the blogs with John Antonelli. He's doing a great job trading live money in Sapir Group. All right. Check out those blogs. He's talking about the entries, the exits, and then go to the charts and then find those charts. A lot of those blogs he's been posting the charts as well. Okay. So you can see why he's getting in, why he's getting out. John Antonelli, check it out. Sip your group. And then we got some really cool stuff coming up. It's almost done. It's the thing that's been cooking over at Sip Your Group is almost done. When it comes out, I'm telling you guys are going to freak out. You're going to love it. It's coming up soon. Thank you so much for everybody being in the chat. Thank you for everybody being here live. there's another question in here, but I'm going to leave. I'll answer it in the chat. I'll be in here for about 15 more minutes in the chat on the live show. And everybody have a good weekend. Go hang out with your families. Okay. Check out the charts later on. Hang out with your families. Play with your dog. If you got no dogs or family, I don't know, go see a movie. Do something. have a good time. Go for a run. This is the Strat Soldier with the weekend shift. This was a great time. I'll see you guys next weekend. Peace.